a nation of Raiders. It's a nation of Raiders. We a nation of Raiders. It's a nation of Raiders. We a nation of Raiders. It's a nation.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Inbounds with the Oakland Raiders. Today I am thrilled to be sitting down with none other than Oakland native Lorenzo Alexander, who's recently come home to don the silver and black with the Oakland Raiders. Lorenzo, thank you for taking the time to sit down with us.
I appreciate it. It's a good time.
Now, before we begin, I just have to ask you, how good does it feel to be back home getting to play in front of family and friends and the hometown crowd?
It's great. Obviously my mom loves it because I have 4 children and she gets to see her grandbabies all the time. And then being home, get to see my friends and family that I really haven't seen because I've been away pretty much for 10 years since I've been in the NFL. But coming back has been awesome. Be able to connect with some old friends, really get back connected with the community as far as my foundation because I'm here year-round now. So it's been great on many different levels.
Now, before you became a Pro Bowl linebacker in the NFL, you were a student athlete, first at St. Mary's in Berkeley,
right,
and then later on at UC Berkeley, my alma mater,
right,
the Bears. Can you talk to us about those early years as a local football star?
Yeah, well, for me, it was great. I had a great experience, but I think it all stemmed back to having a great foundation at home. My mom, single mother, raised me. I also had my Uncle Steve that played the father figure in my life, and they really instilled in me at an early age that academics came first, sports was second, and then your friends and all the other stuff that you wanted that was social was a distant third. So, and they instilled that at a young age. I mean, I remember not doing so well on a test or not having a great conduct, and they wouldn't let me play in a basketball tournament or wouldn't let me take a trip with the family. So it was certain things that they set up early in my life that made me understand how important academics was and then how important my athletics were. And coming together, I was able to go to UC Berkeley, out of St. Mary's, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do that.
So both St. Mary's and UC Berkeley are well known for their rigorous academic standards. Right. How did you balance the demands of the classroom with the demands on the field, and what habits did you have to develop in order to ensure success in both?
Like I said, I think it all started at a young age, and it wasn't always easy. I mean, I was a young man, I was a teenager, and I wanted to do my own thing, but I also understood that I wanted to go to college, I wanted to play collegiate football, I wanted to go to the NFL, and I had to do certain things in my life that added up to achieving those goals. So at some point in my life, after my uncle, my mom instilled those important principles, I kind of took it upon myself to kind of grow into that and become my own person, become my own man, and make those my principles. And it took time. My freshman year in high school was hard, trying to figure everything out. And obviously as I went through it and managed and understood how I could do both sports and athletics and as well make time for my friends, you kind of figure those things out. But there's definitely a give and take. And sometimes you have to make the necessary sacrifice in order to get the good grade or do well during the football season. And then college was a whole different animal because then I was kind of let loose a little bit, no parents around. So I struggled a little bit academically my freshman year, but once again I had to make that choice. Do I need to be eligible? I want to be able to do well. I just don't want to go to college, but I want to benefit from being at UC Berkeley. It's the #1 public school in the country, and it's up there with the Yales and the Harvards and the Stanfords. So don't just go through it. Get something out of it, make relationships. Get an education out of it so that I could use it when I was done playing football. And I've been blessed to play 11 years, but I'm getting to that time to where I'll be able to use that education and those networks that I built, those relationships I built once I'm done playing.
So a lot of kids these days, we live in an era of instant gratification,
right,
the Instagram
right,
and celebrity.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of kids these days have a hard time connecting the dots about what they do now and how it will impact their future success. So can you speak to the good habits you had to develop in high school and later on at college that helped you in the NFL?
Well, everybody, like you said, it's like a microwave generation. I actually have an older daughter, and I see a lot of those things that this generation has to deal with, as far as right now. My biggest thing, and a coach told me this when I first got in the NFL, is enjoy the process. Everybody wants to play Sundays because that's when you get the lights and the cameras and all the notoriety. But if you don't do the process the right way, you won't have that opportunity. So if you have certain dreams and goals, obviously find a mentor, somebody that's been there and done it. Ask them how they went through the process. And then you just have to, day to day, you have to pick up and make a conscious choice that this is what I want to do. Obviously going to have other distractions and stuff, but if you really want to be great, be successful, and that's not necessarily being in the NFL, but being a productive member of our society and our community, and really changing the environment for you personally, but also everybody around you, you have to make a choice every day. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go work out, I'm gonna go to class, I'm gonna do my homework, I'm gonna serve in the community, whether that's with your church or finding an organization that impacts a group that's close to you, whether it's little kids or the homeless. Those are little things that we have to make a choice on our own and make it become who we are. And it's a day-to-day process. You can't just do it once. You can't do it for a week or a month and think it's okay. It's every day. And I'm still doing that. Today I'm 32. I'm still growing, still trying to find ways to push myself and add to me to make me a better person on and off the field. And I think that's the type of lifestyle you have to lead, and you have to know what you want and have goals and make sure you set it up the right way and pursue it daily.
Now, you went to the Pro Bowl as a special teams player
Right.
when you were with the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
How did you focus on becoming great at that when, let's face it, sometimes it's underappreciated and
Yeah.
it's not the glorified position on the team?
Right. Well, I think everybody has to understand their role within your team, within the NFL. Everybody's not going to be a Peyton Manning, Calvin Johnson, a Khalil Mack, those type of players. And I had to figure out how can I sustain a long career in the NFL, and special teams was that way for me to obviously allow myself to continue to develop so I could play defense when I got that opportunity. But, I relished at it. It was something I was good at. I had a great skill set. I was big. I could run. And then I approached it like an offense or defense. I understood, the schemes, how people were trying to block you, what did they like to do. And by understanding, my opponent like any offense or defensive player would, coming against their opponent, I was able to make plays. And like I said, my coach said, you're always going to get opportunities, whether or not you get good exposure or bad exposure. And it's all about that process. I prepared myself to be able to make those plays when they presented themselves.
Now, switching gears here, you've been giving back to Oakland and the Bay Area for a long time.
Right.
And you started a great nonprofit called the ACES Foundation, whose focus is to provide enrichment programs for youth. Can you talk to me about why you started that organization?
Well, growing up, like I said, I had a single parent, my mother. I also had my uncle that stood in. I had many coaches also pouring to me growing up as a young man, and a lot of people, going over my best friend's mom's house and hanging out. And it took a village to really raise me. And I wouldn't be in the NFL. I wouldn't be successful. I wouldn't be the father I am today, the brother, the friend, if I didn't have those people take the time out and give back to me. So I only felt that it was necessary and really an obligation to pass that along to the next generation. And obviously having the NFL is a great platform, and the resources and the connections that I have to be able to form a foundation and be impactful in my community was real important to me. And it's all about, my mom and giving back to the community and how she's made an impact. I want to make that same impact in other kids who may not have that same support system I did at home. Because like you said, every child is a diamond. And I think everybody has great potential. They just need a solid foundation of people that believe into them and push them in the right day and show them how to do it, and they can be successful as well.
So the ACES Foundation has a really great mission statement with 3 distinct parts. The
Right.
first part is supporting youth by emphasizing self-accountability, and that really resonates with me. Why do you think self-accountability is so important in a young person's development?
I coming up and even like playing on teams, when something bad happens, everybody wants to point the finger. No, it's their fault, it's not my fault, that's the reason why. And I think it's important that we have to figure out what we did wrong, where we made our mistakes at, and correct them there. And at the end of the day, everything falls on you. A lot of things can happen around you. I understand environments, not having the perfect family, not having the perfect environment. But you control your actions, where you want to go, what you want to do, the people you want to be around, to change that for yourself. So I just want to instill in young people that it's really up to you as far as how far you want to go. Do you want to be in the streets every day? Do you want to be in the classroom? Do you want to be successful? And in the reality, do you want to live or die in a lot of people's instances? So just making sure that they're making the choices, it's on you. And when you're making great choices, people see that and they want to even help you even more. So you help yourself by giving 100% in what you want to do, and other people to jump on board and try to help you figure out a way to do it as well.
The second part of that mission statement is teaching youth how to take pride in their community. How does ACES manage and achieve that?
Well, we have different opportunities for people to come out and volunteer, whether it's our back to school backpack giveaway, youth camps, where we go out and serve the homeless, or go to speak at a school, or mentoring kids. Always trying to invite people that have went through my camps to come back and coach. So different ways like that. So, because at the end of the day, if we wanted to change Oakland, if we want to change our environment, the people that really care about it is the people that grew up there, that understand the struggles, that understand the day-to-day challenges people have to deal with. So just giving them opportunities to come back and pour into the next generation so that we can, change 1 or 2 kids at a time or 100 kids at a time. And that's when you really start to see change and real impact in Oakland and really see it change for the better, because Oakland has a lot of talent, a lot of ability, but I think oftentimes it gets overshadowed by a lot of negativity, and nobody else is going to change it unless we step up and try to do something, as a grassroots community and attack it at the front line.
Now, the final part of your mission statement, which is really important to me because I'm a coach with a young girls program in the Bay Area, is striving for educational excellence while promoting a healthy mind and body through sports. Can you speak to that really quickly?
Right. Well, I just think obviously education is the key in a lot of things that we do today. Be able to go out, go to college, get a good job, get hired, and be able to bring those resources and connections and social and that social network back to your community. I think that's huge. And obviously to achieve that, you have to have a healthy mind and body to be able to do that, as far as being drug-free, working out, taking care of yourself. So if you're healthy, you can go take care of somebody else. If you all toe up, and really can't get out, be active, or not doing the right things, nobody's going to want to follow or be a part of that movement. So, it's definitely, a holistic approach. And then for me, my faith is a huge portion of that. Understanding that I'm a piece of God's will, His mission, and His movement in this community, and I'm just a conduit to kind of get His mission out there and do it. So, and that's what really motivates me and keeps me going each and every day for my family and as well as the community.
Well, Lorenzo, I know you got to get busy preparing for this weekend's game. I want to thank you for taking the time to sit down with us, sharing your personal journey and the great work you're doing through the ACES Foundation. And for our viewers out there, they can support by going to www.lorenzoalexander.org, where they can find links to follow you guys on Twitter, where you can make a donation, become a volunteer, or just check out the calendar to attend an upcoming event. Until next week, this has been Lorelei Suarez with Inbounds with the Oakland Raiders. Thanks for tuning in.